What's up, guys? This is Coach Mike with Triple Crown Sports. I've been coaching baseball for the last 6 years. Today we're going to start talking about our everyday drills, or what I like to call our EDDs. It's something that's going to make you better for the upcoming season. Let's go. All right, so today I have Johnny Reed here with me to help me out going through our throwing progressions, making sure we get our arms good and loose before we get into practice. All right, so typically how we get started with our 14-year-old age group, we go into our torso rotation. Players are set up about 30 feet apart, and it's basically just a typical torso rotation, getting that from the waist up, kind of loosened up and everything, working on just gripping the ball with 4 seams every single time, and just really getting our upper half from our waist up loosened up. Doesn't have to be max effort or anything, probably going about 30% here from 30 feet. Another big aspect is making sure our players, whether they're left-handed or right-handed, their glove side, they're pointing that shoulder towards their target, rather than just kind of going this way or too far. We want to make sure we get good torso rotation from here as we're throwing. All right, so once we're done throwing at 30 feet, typically we have a stopwatch on it, anywhere between 2 to 4 minutes that we'll do our torso rotation. We'll scoot our guys back to 60 feet and start on what we call our rockers. So pretty standard position here that Johnny's in. First off, he's gripping the baseball at 4 seams, making sure that way whenever he's throwing that the ball is not going to cut or tail whenever he's throwing it to his first baseman or cut off, regardless of where he's at. His feet are a little wider than shoulder width apart, and he's going to start there with the ball in his glove together. As he rotates, he's going to get that separation. As you can see, his shoulder here is pointed to where his target would be, and from there he's just going to break and throw and reach out with his front arm, getting his chest out over his front knee. So once we're finished up with our 90 feet, we'll have our guys start working back on their own, depending on if it's a long toss day or not. A lot of people believe that you have to be throwing the ball on a line while you're playing long toss. We're more about stretching the arm just like you would stretching your quads, your hamstrings, your calves. We let our guys know we want to actually get a little bit of air underneath the baseball and start throwing over what we say a 1-story building. It doesn't have to necessarily be in a line. Once they get past 120 and they really want to play long toss for an extended amount of time, their arms are feeling good, anywhere from 130 to 160 feet, even up to 180, where then we're going to be throwing over a 2-story building, really stretching our arm out and reaching out as far as we can until it's good and loose. And then once it's good and loose and stretched out, we'll start working back in from there. So once we finish our long toss, our arms are good and loose, we're at 100%, we'll work back into probably 120, 110 feet. But the goal here now is to throw a 20-foot hop, max effort to our partner. By 20-foot hop, I mean I'm trying to throw the baseball to my partner at this time 20 feet in front of him, so it's a good long hop that he can handle if he has to put a tag on somebody in a game. Once we get into 90 feet, that's whenever we're really throwing max effort, is what we say, through our partner's head. So from there, our arm should be at 100% and hot, and we're throwing max effort the rest of the time throughout the throwing progression. So once you finish up your 90 feet, start working back into 30 feet. Some of them, like our infielders, will start working on different arm angles, which we'll get to on a later date. Real thing is with this, guys, is making sure we're taking enough time to get our arms good and loose. We'll throw for a good probably 20 to 25 minutes, depending on if it's a long toss day or not. That way our guys' arms are good and loose and ready to go once we're getting into practice. All right, make sure you guys check out our future episodes with myself, Coach Mike, on Watch TCS.